Hello, everyone. Cinephile Mike here, your friendly neighborhood cinephile. It is award season review season 2, and it is day 68, and we are starting to wrap up BAFTA week. Today, I am talking about the steamy thriller Netflix's Fair Play. Written and directed by Chloe Domont in her feature film debut, the film, like the last few that I have discussed this week, even though this one had a limited theatrical run, has not released any of the box office information on Box Office Mojo. Again, as Netflix, the primary streamer, usually just releases their films on the platform. There's no international box office to report of at this time. Now, award season-wise, like Talk to Me, which I reviewed earlier this week, Fair Play has one sole nomination for one of the film's two leads, Phoebe Dynevor, who, like Sophie Wilde from Talk to Me, is nominated for the EE Rising Star Award, which recognizes young acting talent and ambition of those that have begun to capture the imagination of the British public. It is the one award that is voted on by the people, and it will be interesting to see next week at the BAFTAs who takes the prize home. Some very strong competition for it this year. But let's get into Fair Play. Now, Fair Play is the story of Emily, played by Dynevor, and Luke, played by Alden Ehrenreich. Now, Emily and Luke are two analysts working for the same very tough and very competitive hedge fund set in Manhattan. Now, unbeknownst to their colleagues, they have been dating for the last 2 years. They lived together and just recently got engaged. However, as they referenced, it is against the rules and taboo for their coworkers to know, so they keep their relationship and their engagement silent. Now, shortly after this, within a couple of days, a portfolio manager at the fund is fired, and Emily hears through some, coffee room talk that Luke is next in line to get the position, which makes both of them very happy. They celebrate this moment, hoping for Luke's success and what it means for them. However, before they know it, we learn that it is in fact Emily who's getting the promotion and not Luke. And he seems just as happy for her at first, but this is a little short-lived. And then, as we continue in this film, we will see how these pressures and impacts of gender politics, insecurity, personal viewpoints, and locker room talk, and how all these things have an impact on this supposedly happy couple. Not to mention the other pressures that come to both of them working in the kind of heavyweight financial game and firm that these two work for. Now, this film, it starts out very, very strong, like a lot of the great psychological thrillers of the 90s, almost like a great Michael Crichton novel adaptation. There's some severe psychological gameplay that has you at different times rooting for Emily against Luke, or rooting for Luke against Emily, or actually not even just rooting against the other, but truly, I found there were moments where I truly did not like a single thing that Luke was doing, or a single thing that Emily was doing. And to play this cat and mouse and go toe-to-toe, Ehrenreich and Dynevor, very strong chemistry, very strong performances. Without them, this film would not really work. Now, in the design elements, I have to say, this was a sight to see. Like films like Margin Call or Wall Street or The Wolf of Wall Street, the design elements, how they present the upper echelon of the brokers' offices, the power suits, the costumes, the things that people wear, the settings where they engage in work, is very well designed and shot, as well as juxtaposing it with the, almost menial living arrangements for Emily and Luke that you would think would be a bit more given the salaries that they're pulling in. And also with some of these seedy clubs where there are some, let's just say, interesting scenes that take place. And the cinematography, the way it's done, you almost at times, it's a little uncomfortable. You feel like a voyeur just kind of sneaking into some of the things that are happening. And all of this with the promotion and the impact and the late nights and the phone calls and the he said, she said, Domont builds us to this, really big and rather unexpected climax. And then it kind of runs out of steam. That would be my biggest problem with the film. Unfortunately, what starts as a taut psychological thriller kind of coalesces into this big explosion and then falls apart within the last 10 minutes. And the climax and the message of what we've spent the last 90 minutes kind of going towards gets scattered with another agenda kind of pushed in that, while it's an important one to discuss, is not really what we've been building towards. So it almost seems like Domont didn't quite know how to end the film, and as a result, the ending doesn't fully feel earned. So, unfortunately for that, Fair Play is just a 3-star film for me. It was leaning towards a decent 4 until I got to that last 10 or 15 minutes. But that being said, as a first feature, I look forward to what else Domont will give us. I do believe that there is great work to come from them. And also, Dynever, who I am not familiar with their work. Aaron Reich, I've been a fan of his for a while. He's actually a joy in Oppenheimer, if you remember, as the assistant with Robert Downey Jr. But Phoebe Dynever is another actress to keep an eye on. So we'll see how she pans out for her EE Rising Star Award. All right. So that was the penultimate review in BAFTA week. I will see everyone tomorrow as we wrap BAFTA week and move on to our next theme, animation, some feel-good stuff there. But until then, this is Cinephile Mike, as always, saying take a break and watch something new.